Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit that notification bell, get all the updates. That's it for today's video. The beer is courtesy of Billy. Thanks so much, Billy. I really appreciate it. And if you just want the review, I would fast forward a little bit till I start reviewing the beer because I'm going to read the box and all that. So, Special Reserve Barrel Aged Blend, Firestone Walker's 25th edition of their anniversary ale. They were established in 1996, so 25 years. That's awesome. Good on them. Let's see. In the fall of, in the fall of 2006, brewmaster Matt, how do you pronounce his last name, also asked a handful of his winemaker friends for their input on blending a diverse stash of barrel-aged strong ales. Together, they came up with, quote, 10, a trailblazing beer commemorating our 10th anniversary, and so began an annual autumn rite that now continues into our 25th year. I do have some that I haven't had yet. Looks like maybe 3 of them. Which I don't know why. I mean, why is there so many beers sitting on the shelves, right? Anyway, I don't know why I haven't had them yet. This year was different, however, when our brewers convened with their winemaker friends on July 15th, 2021, and marked a return to in-person blending after conducting it all remotely the previous year. The significance of this moment was not lost on anyone, and it was made all the more special by the occasion of our 25th anniversary. The beer you are holding in your hands, 25, was created on that day. It is a work of talent and togetherness that we are now privileged to share with you. Thank you for being a part of our journey as we conclude this milestone year for Firestone Walker. Enjoy this beer now or cellar in a cool, dark place between 45 and 55 degrees. Just took it out of my beer fridge that is set at 55 degrees. Pretty boxing. Ooh. Oh, cool. I will not read all of this on camera. A note from brewmaster Matt Brynildson. I when I was reading the box, I'm like, how do we pronounce his last name? Brynildson, I believe. But this I will skim. Sorry, I had some spicy food for dinner and clearly got the mucus going. The final blend, Parabola, is 41% of this. Sticky Monkey is 10%. Tequila Barrel-Aged Merkin, 28%. Brandy Barrel Barley Wine, 13%. And Whiskey Barrel Wheat Wine, 8%. Very cool. All right. Anything else on here I should read? 11.5% ABV. I was wondering what the ABV was. Okay, I'm okay with that. It's a work night, but I can... Yeah, that's fine. Thanks again, Billy. I'm really excited to try this. Very cola-like in that color. It's a deep brown. You can tell there's some dark beers in there. Even in the glass, I don't know how it's coming across on camera, but it's about as dark brown as you can get. Definitely some black, but like it's way more brown than black. But again, sometimes with the lighting, the camera might look a little different than what I'm seeing. If anything, it's probably lighter on your end, right? About half a finger of this, almost exactly. It's a little light mocha. You added a decent amount of milk to your mocha. Regular, pretty compact bubbles, and then at the top, kind of sudsy, starting to be sudsy. Let's get into the aroma. I like the sweet distilled man. Okay, so the barrel aging is pretty expressive, and it's not just the bourbon. It's not surprising there's some brandy. I'm not gonna say I get tequila, but I can see a whiff of that. You try to think about well, what if I didn't know what was in the beer? You know, try to be as real as possible if I was doing this as a mystery or whatever, right? Certainly bourbon whiskey, fair enough. But there is like enough of this other thing. At the very least, when I did the unboxing or opening of the mystery and being like, what is this beer? I would not be surprised to see, there's other barrels involved, is the short version. And it's interesting with the different base beers because you get like this awesome like caramel molasses thing that you would get in a barley wine and a wheat wine, but then it also has like it's interesting because you sometimes in a stout can get a little bit of that molasses caramel thing. And the way that they're both working and they're kind of interwoven, but then you can kind of be like, oh, it's a little different notes of each, but they're so similar. But it's like, wait, but I think at this moment it's actually coming together. It's a pretty cool experience. Some the caramels is really strong for me in this. Some dried fruits, raisins, big raisins, and raisinets. The chocolate sweet raisin, and then this caramel with the expressive for the spirit, but not so much oak, at least yet. So I'm not getting the wood. I'm getting a lot of like quad vibes. I get a little bit of grape even that I can get in a quad. There's just probably, stupid to even say it out loud. There's a lot going on in this beer, So this is definitely one of those ones I could keep smelling, but it makes sense given everything that was put into this beer. But it's working well. And I guess it's part of maybe why I was aging the other vintages is I wonder with all the blending, because one of my reasons I like to age beers is if they do have a lot of different notes, like I call them fireworks of notes, like this goes off and this goes off and this goes off, as you're drinking it. Age can kind of meld those flavors together. Still can be strong, but they just kind of more cohesive. And I'm kind of getting that in the aroma, where there are moments of cohesion, but also it's not the most cohesive aroma. But again, when you consider what's in this beer, it's not surprising, So I'm really curious about the taste. If the taste is a little bit more harmonious or not. There's only one way to find out. You can tell how excited I am because I keep trying to talk really fast and I keep tripping over my words. Cheers, Billy. Thanks again. It does drink more harmonious in the taste. I will say this. I really like this. And I'll explain what I'm tasting. And I'm being sincere. I like this. But I do think, even though the taste is more harmonious than the aroma, some time will continue to really meld this. Because you have a delicious base. But even just 1 year, I think would really, or one more year, would really bring these together. For me, it's much bigger that barley wine, old ale, strong ale, and the Belgian style quad than stouty, right? And because the first one listed is Parabola, and at 41%, I kind of figured that I'd get more stout. It's there. You get a little bit of that roastiness, but it really, to enjoy this beer, don't go into it thinking it's Parabola or a variant of Parabola. That's not what these beers are, right? And I love old ales, barley wines, Belgian style quads, blah, 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 blah. So, this is hitting hard. And then, there's, just this little bit. I almost did this on a Tuesday because I knew this was going to happen. If you don't watch, if it's my first review or you don't know, on Tuesdays I try to test my palate with something that seems, like this, kind of almost like a challenge, whether it's a mystery beer, trying a different kind of beer, whatever. Because everything that's in this, you're getting so many different flavors, and so, like I was saying about the aroma with the molasses thing, how in one style you get dried fruit, right, as an example. And it can be really similar to how you get dried fruit in a different beer in that same style or a different style. Or it can be like way different. You're like, man, it's like, or just think about like IPAs, like orange in a West Coast versus like a New England style IPA. Like, yeah, the tasting note's still orange, but traditional West Coast IPA orange is much different than traditional New England style IPA orange. And you're getting a lot of that kind of thing here. It's like the caramel is probably one of the ones that's a little bit more uniformed. The molasses in the taste is like the aroma. It's a little, there's similarities in it. There's like, oh, that's a little different, expression than that, between the styles. And again, that little bit of roastiness, really nice in this beer. But the one thing I want to talk about is the dried fruit element, like the raisin. It was very raisin in the aroma, but in the taste, it's a little bit more raisin, date. I don't know, maybe. You get that wave of like the grape that you can get with those quads. It's very fruity that way. You get that, the nice chocolate. And just like the aroma for me, I'm not getting oak. Or I'm getting like a very, 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 very faint in the finish, like towards the finish, into the finish, the dry oak thing. So it's not much of that. But the lack of surprise that this has different kinds of barrels. Again, just like the aroma, I'm not going to say get the tequila, but that brandy thing, especially like a kiss of green apple, for sure. The bourbon barrel aging, for sure. Excuse me. What was it? Oh, duh, it was also from Billy. It was Old Stock Reserve. This is definitely one of those videos or beers I could do a video that's like easily 30 minutes where I could just keep sipping it and describing it. So like I'm in this position where I'm trying to go back upstairs and watch Wheel of Fortune with my wife. So I'm trying not to make this too long, but at the same time, like there's more to discuss with this beer. So I feel like I'm being a little long-winded per my typical review, but then what this beer has going on that I'm, tasting, enjoying, have thoughts on, like aging it for a little longer to really bring this together. So yeah, it's like I could keep going is the short version. To that point, I will take one more sip, see if there's anything else I think is worth talking about, and then I'll wrap it up. Thanks again, Bill. I know you really like this one. I can see why you wanted, you had mentioned to me reviewing it, because like, yeah, this is really good. I'm really looking for more of that oak. There's a nice soft, it might be like char, but for me it's coming across very light smoke. So I think that's, obviously like I would say that's another part of the barrel aging process that these beers have undergone, and one or two more than the other probably kicking that out. Could just be char, and kind of with everything else going on isn't as robust and is just kind of like this whisper of smoke to me. But that, again, really pleasant because you have some sweetness, a decent amount of sweetness to this beer. So there are some elements to it that are kind of helping to dry it out, preventing it from being cloyingly sweet. Yeah, I think this is really good. So thanks again, Billy. I really appreciate it. Have you guys had this beer before? Have you had like other vintages of it? Are you aging some like I am? Do you drink them fresh? Do you do both? Anything related, comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.